And there we are. Apologies, everybody. Somebody tripped a cord and unplugged all our microphones.
Way to go, Tim.
No, fuck you.
Tim is standing his ground.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
He's got backbone these days.
Well, you have been
He stole somebody
you have been giving him shit since the moment he came in here tonight.
It's his day.
It's his day. Well, apparently he does not agree, nor does he accept.
He'll still get it. He'll get it. Look at you, Tim. Well, I don't got anything else. That was it. I'll let you know when I get more stuff.
All right, let's get through the news
Hey,
then.
Brian, where could the next Assassin's Creed be?
Oh boy, segues. First news article for everything today is next Assassin's Creed game could be heading to Brazil. Straight from a translated interview from Brazilian tech site TechTudo, Ubisoft Brazil's managing director may have let the cat out of the bag for next year's Assassin's Creed. Bertrand Chavarot, I probably said that wrong, or it's probably Chevrolet, told the blog the next installment will take place in Brazil, and translation was confirmed by GameSpot. At this point, however, no one knows if this game is going to be the next installment in the main series or a possible handheld spin-off. Also, there's speculation as to whether the whole game would be based in Brazil or just partially, like how Assassin's Creed 3 had an early mission in a Brazilian train station. It's not spoilers.
I was just fucking around.
God damn it. Alright, so Howard and Brett, you're our resident Assassin's Creed fans. Does Brazil
It
sound like
doesn't
an...
excite me at all. I think it should be in China
Why China?
because I think it would be interesting.
Alright.
It should take place in ancient China during the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Don't tell me that wouldn't be awesome.
All I'm saying is I don't want to get attacked by a Brazilian wandering spider.
That's going to be your main enemy.
The Brazilian wandering spider.
They'll be in guard armor, like guarding up some Brazilian palace.
Oh, I'm supposed to be. I'm a spider.
They're the Templars.
I don't think Brazilians sound like that.
the Brazilian wandering spiders do.
I
Yeah.
don't think they sound like that at all.
Brett, back me up on this.
I've met them. They do sound like that.
All of them.
So you're just doing it to
They're
spite
all
me
named
now.
Jose. I mean Josie.
I mean, that one.
Josie.
I don't know. That one was named Jim. He was kind of an oddball, though.
Oh yeah, he's the dirt.
The
he's the
oddball.
dirt wandering spider.
He's the black
I'm
sheep.
pretty sure your Brazilian spider has to
But
wear
anyway,
something
Brazil
skin tight.
really doesn't like when you think of Assassin's Creed, you think of like climbing on ancient architecture and stuff like that, like you did in Florence and in Damascus and other cities and other like. Okay, it just Brazil doesn't excite me at all. I think it would be better like in a Japan or in a China. I think an Eastern game instead of a Western, like a Western setting, would be better. I think that would do more for the franchise.
Fair enough. Next.
As long as it doesn't have tower defense, I'm okay.
Yeah, well, the three doesn't have tower defense, so I think you're good to go. Next up, Brett and I have until May 7th to pick up PlayStation 3. What does that mean? It means Last of Us hits on May 7th.
Watch that game be like really bad.
Impossible.
You come home, you wrap it, sniff it a little bit, pop it in.
I don't usually sniff my video
Black Ops
games.
3. Call of Duty Modern Blops 3 at war.
Last of Us debuted a new trailer at the VGA Awards. This time focusing on mainly the story mode.
Definitely revealed some more story details.
Yeah, up to this point, it's mainly been gameplay and little snippets of conversation. They would show actual just cutscenes instead of any sort of trailer marketed towards letting you know what is going on in that world. You just knew the world was fucked. You just didn't know in what way. And this kind of gives you a different perspective, seeing how it looks like the two main characters are actually currently in a habitable or a habitated city that is either ran by a company or something of some other nature, and they are tasking themselves with leaving and maybe finding other places to live, or escaping the oppression that was shown a bit by the people in power in the city they were staying in. But it shows a lot of emotion involved in the story, a lot of great voice acting, more than just the two main characters, and it showed a good bit of gameplay that makes the combat look a lot more gruesome than it has in any other trailer. So I was very intrigued, and I was glad that it ended finally confirming a date, because up until now it has not had anything. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I actually haven't gotten to watch that. Oh, the BGA one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the trailer. I mean, I'm more curious to see what's actually in the city outside of humans.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, because this was our first real glimpse of seeing, like, either infected people or whatever the hell that shit was. So, very interesting. Push notifications. That's my iPod. So, it's pretty good. Next up, living room PCs are a thing of the future, and by future I mean possibly as soon as 2013. In a small interview held during the Spike TV VGA Awards, Gabe Newell of Valve has taken the stance that living room PCs are coming and PC gaming will become a viable competitor for next-generation consoles. Speaking to Kotaku, Newell said big picture mode for Steam, which is the feature that just recently left beta and is now accessible to anyone that owns Steam. Essentially, when you activate big picture mode, it allows Steam to be navigated via a controller you have plugged into your PC, and also gives you quick and easy access to your controller-friendly games. Like if you were to have GTA 4 or a first-person shooter or any other PC version of a console game, they can be played through big picture mode, and then everything is garnered to fit and be visible on a television. So it's essentially treating Steam like a console device. Big picture mode was a bigger success than they expected and is the first step in seeing a PC fit for the living room, loaded with Steam as a viable competitive option to next-gen's Xbox and PlayStation. Getting Steam on Linux is also a big goal for Valve in order to make such a device a reality. Gamers over the past year to year and a half have seen their PC versions running a hell of a lot better than they do on consoles, showing the age of current-gen systems and causing a reemergence of PC gaming that has been headed by Steam. Having a device capable of running the service's entire library and readily equipped to be hooked up in your living room certainly sounds like something that can make Sony and Microsoft worry. Given all this information and the customization options available to such a device, could you guys become a PC gamer within a year's time?
No.
no.
So you don't see this swaying you away from the next-gen Xbox or PlayStation?
No, probably not.
Why is that?
Just not usually. I don't know. I just never been much of a PC guy.
So, well, what I'm saying, what this is essentially, this is not talking about bringing keyboard and mouse PC gaming to your living room. This is talking about that Xbox, something the size of that Xbox, having PC components, coming with a controller, and essentially turning PC games into a console game. And then also being a box that you can easily upgrade as newer games come out that need better hardware.
Well, I guess it'll depend on the cost.
It'll determine whether it's a viable option, because being a PC gamer is a hell of a lot more expensive than being a console gamer. They're going to have to completely readjust the market to make it attractive for people who aren't willing to spend thousands of dollars on gaming rigs.
Well, no, I mean that's true. I mean, gaming rigs.
PC gaming is going to have to. They're going to have to make it like plug and play, really easy. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
It's
but
not gonna work at first.
But at the same time, a living room PC with the goal of being a console would also eliminate the hassle of having to make it run a usual expected operating system. Like, you're not looking at a living room PC with Windows 8. You're looking at buying a living room PC from Valve with Steam day one to plug in and start downloading and playing Steam games. Like, that is its goal. That is its sole purpose. So you got to break out of the shell of expecting this thing to be a viable computer PC. Like, that's not the goal of the living room PC. The goal of it is essentially to turn it into a customizable console and making Steam your source of gaming. Not to also, I mean, it will probably also have like internet.
The software, you're still going to need the hardware to run the software.
No, I know that, but I mean, like, this is essentially Valve building like their own iOS to run everything. So it's not like you're buying a Windows PC. Yeah.
I'm okay with the iOS, but what I'm talking, what it's going to come down to is it's going to come down to how much it's going to cost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if everybody's predicting that the next gen consoles are going to be $400 to $500, and then the competitive option is a viable PC around the same price that will use Steam Big Picture mode and play everything and then be customizable in the future, it could end up being a better option than buying an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Maybe.
I'm not saying I'm jumping into it. I'm just saying if they handle it right, it can be something that people look at and say, well, I could just get this.
Customizations, like, is that going to be, because they're going to have to work on all that too. Like, if they're going to have customizable parts for it, who's going to build them? How much are they going to cost? Everyone's going to have a different system. In reality, everyone's going to have different parts. Everyone's going to have different customizable.
Yeah.
Different parts running different things. You won't be able to play every game unless you buy the highest one, and then you're going to have to keep replacing it. I mean, this console generation is in 10 years or so. I just don't think that's going to work for the everyday consumer. For us, it probably might work.
Well, I mean, Steam isn't for the everyday gamer. Steam's more of a hardcore device.
Yeah, but then it's not going to make a ton of money. Because people who want a PC, they're just going to buy a PC.
No, I get that.
They're not going to buy this gaming console hybrid PC thing, which the Xbox and the PS3 are essentially just computers.
They are.
They're just dumbed down, tailored down with their specific operating systems that
Yeah.
are only meant to run certain things.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a bastardization because you're going to have gamers who want gaming consoles, and you're going to want the PC gamers who don't want this. It's probably, to them, it's going to seem like it's a dumbed down PC coming down to a console gamer's level, especially the more elitist PC gamers, and they're just going to stick with their PCs. I think it's going to get lost.
I mean, to me, with Steam already having a user base in the millions,
Because I can just take my desktop PC and plug it to my television.
I know, but at the same time, the PCs. Well, apparently you downloaded Angry Birds Star Wars.
Yeah, way to go, Tim.
Like the PCs.
I'm having a heated conversation with Brian.
Yeah.
Download fucking games and
Yeah.
play them.
Like the PCs are built, you know, while I have mine plugged into my TV, it's not built to properly configure to a television. Like, there's still things that strain my eyes. There's still because it's still built. It's built and recommended for me to.
I get it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be neat. I just don't think it's going to survive. I don't think it's going to be a viable option long term.
I mean, to me, if it's a viable option that makes PC gaming cheaper and more opportunity for regular gamers to pick it up and play, and offers the controller option to those that don't like the keyboard and mouse, while keeping the keyboard and mouse to those that want to have that in their living room, I think it has plenty of chance, and I think there's nobody better to do it than Valve.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Valve.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you as far as that goes. I just don't think. I think it's going to just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the machine's sole purpose is to be built and play games, it still works like a because I don't think living room PCs are going to be built in such a way where they have to have proprietary pieces. Like, I think they would still use the PC parts you go into a Best Buy now and buy. But I just feel that they're going to be built with the sole purpose of just playing games. Like, they're not going to be built to have Microsoft put Windows 8 on it or have iOS Leopard or whatever the hell the latest one is on there. It's to be just a simple operating system to maybe have internet capabilities for you to go online and to access Steam and then be customizable. I mean, I know the convenience of like an Xbox is you pay the $300, or when that new system comes out, $400, whatever they're going to market it at. Once you buy that, that's it. Like there's no need for you to ever buy a better graphics card to make that play the latest games. But Steam has been a big reason why PC gaming hasn't died when it was on the verge of death, say, 2 years ago?
I'll get my shotgun.
No, 2 years ago. I want to say
A little bit longer than that?
a little bit longer than that. I want to give it at least 5 years ago.
Okay.
Because Steam came around about that time.
Yeah, and, resurrected PC gaming. I mean, we all have Steam. We don't use it as much as we do consoles. But we all adopted Steam and have a few games on it.
Sure.
So they've gotten some of us, to some degree, into PC gaming for, however long that lasts. But, I feel Valve is the best one to do it. I don't think Valve is saying they're going to have their stuff out in 2013. I think they're going to have, Valve is always the company that we have it out when it's ready.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly stick to time with things, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, because any other opportunist developer, when their previous game is announced as Game of the Decade, would come out and go, "Hey, the next one's coming." Instead, Valve just came out and was like, "Hey, thanks. See you later."
Because Gabe Newell's scared of number 3.
He probably is. I just thought that was funny. It's like, we'll get into it with the VGAs. All right, let's try to get through this a little quicker. Though, hey, arguments like that are what fuel interest in the podcast, and it's fun to discuss as long as it never gets too heated. Probably. Who would like to own every SNES game ever made in the U.S.,
No
Canada,
one.
and Mexico?
I can do it for free.
Technically, you can. But if you want legal hard copies of each cartridge, all 721 games, you're in luck, because there's a listing
They're
on...
not.
If you have the money.
Super Game Boy.
I don't know. I didn't
Technically, I can play every Game Boy game then, too.
I didn't look at
I want
the
every Game Boy game.
I didn't look at the list. I don't
I can
know.
play them as you really know.
I don't know. Do you consider Super Game Boy itself a game or a peripheral?
Pokemon Super Game Boy, Ninja Turtles Super Game Boy, Resident Evil Gaiden Super Game Boy.
Anyway, all 721 games have been released as an auction on eBay for $24,999 at a buy it now price, with the seller also accepting offers if your offer is fair. So far, I believe.
$6.50.
Let's see. Let's check the link.
Demon's foot.
They don't.
Or diabetes.
They used to. There it is. Thank you. As of right now, 8:51 p.m. Eastern Time, there have been 82 offers. I believe all of them are declined. There may be one pending.
I wish it would show you how much the offer was.
That's what I was curious about. I want to see what these people think they're offering. No, they don't. There are 2 pending that were both made 2 days ago. So, hey, there's that. Yeah, so there's 2 offers
What's
pending.
the description?
Let's go to the description, shall we?
See what the description is. Condition good. That's good.
Yeah, you are bidding on a complete set of every North American Super Nintendo game ever released. This set is the result of half a decade of collecting.
Only 5 years.
I was limited to only 12 images, but I actually have 42 images at higher resolution. You can view all of the images here, and he has a little blog to look at them. All 721 games sold at retail in United States, Canada, and Mexico are included. Also included is every single box ever released. Note that Mario All-Stars plus World, Super Scope 6, and Miracle Piano do not have individual game boxes. Also included is 605 unique game manuals comprising 84% of all manuals. I have approximately half of the rarest manuals here, but you can see specifics below. Also included are 400 to 700 white box inserts, 4 to 700 white uses instruction booklets, 4 to 700 Nintendo Power advertisement cards and posters, 3 to 500 registration cards, and 100 or so posters. Also included are 26 duplicate games, 15 duplicate boxes, and 50 to 100 duplicate manuals. What is not included is any not for resale, unreleased, and unlicensed games. Please see the list below for full inventory. This set was built by purchasing used carts, instructions, and boxes from countless sellers. The conditions of each item vary, as indicated by the list below. I have made an effort to ensure that most desirable carts have intact labels. Any boxes that had serious damage front or back artwork were replaced. This is where most of the duplicates come from, but by no means is this a pristine set. We are talking about used games more than 20 years old. There will be creases, there will be folds, there will be finger smudges. The list below shows you conditions for each item I have. I have made an effort to clean the set to the best of my ability. Any stickers were carefully removed with a hot air gun from boxes and with isopropyl alcohol from cartridges. I've removed any magic marker writings from cartridges with alcohol and light detergents. I have manually cleaned every single game's PCB contacts and tested them to ensure the games were fully working. I've tested every battery terminal with a multimeter and replaced any dead batteries that I could find. There was little I could do about existing damage to items and yellowing caused by UV exposure. Please see the pictures in his gallery. They are exactly what you will be receiving. He is located in Columbus, Ohio, and open for local pickup. Serious buyers may stop by to inspect the collection prior to purchasing it. Payment method is up to the buyer, PayPal, payment on pickup, etc. My only condition is that payment must clear my bank prior to me releasing these games. Local pickup is preferred, especially so that the items can be inspected by the buyer, but I will ship via freight by the buyer at the buyer's expense. In all, this set comprises about 4 crates and 400 pounds.
Wowza. Alright, let's talk about every single game.
Oh,
Average
God.
Values.
Oh, God, no. I don't want to do that. We're not doing that.
Time, buddy.
Yeah, we don't got that kind of time, so...
Interesting. It will not sell for $25,000. Moving on.
Yeah, I don't think it'll sell for that much. But I think someone will offer a competitive offer at some point, so... G4 has been confirmed to be no more. Next year it will be gone.
Where am I going to watch Cops now?
X-Play will be gone. Attack of the Show will
Just
be
look out your
gone.
window.
And G4 will be replaced by the Esquire channel.
Metrosexual TV for men.
NBC Universal has reached an agreement with Hearst Corporation, the owner of the Esquire magazine, to turn G4 TV into the Esquire channel, which will create new content aimed at metrosexual male audience, which is currently not offered on any other male television channel. The channel will mainly focus on fashion, cooking, and travel, but will also have a little bit of gaming programming because, guys like games, whether they're real men or metrosexuals. So.
Looking at you, Tim.
Will anyone give this channel a look-see next year?
Not
I'm
at
still waiting to watch the Oprah channel.
I haven't gotten enough oxygen.
all the oxygens.
Anyway.
I just don't watch
it's
much
dumb.
TV in general, so. Hey, it's probably going to be better than G4 as long as they don't show marathons of cops all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that was a great idea.
When G4 first started, and it was just nothing but gaming programs like Judgment Day, and X Play was there, Arena, all those. That was cool. I enjoyed watching that channel.
Just gaming. It could have been like they did this for a while too. They show anime, just gaming culture. Not every show has to be fucking about video games. Well, you know what? It can't be cops.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Cheaters.
Well, they were just buying up anything that had cheap rights. You know, I mean, like they had the right idea in getting the rights to Heroes and showing Heroes on the network. You know, they had the right idea in some of the programming, but then when they started buying cheaters and cops and other shit like that, it just fell to the wayside, and their ratings tanked because they weren't just trying to appeal to gamers. Like their idea of what the gaming community was completely inaccurate, and by portraying characters on there like fucking Evan Braun, what we nicknamed Kevin Pereira, and the co-host that he had outside of Olivia Munn, that's not what the gaming community is. I mean, he was a stuck-up prick who felt his opinion was more worthwhile than it really was, and because he was portrayed as an asshole, no one found him identifiable as an actual gamer. The people that were identified as actual gamers, like Adam Sessler, were chased away because of bullshit corporation politics. You know, I mean, they were better off when it was ZTV.
Yep.
And you had the tech guys. You had Kevin Rose. You had Leo Leopold, or I forget what his name was. He did the Screensavers show. Like that, you know, that stuff was good. I don't know. And I'm not gonna sit here and watch Esquire. I'd rather watch the fucking shit that's on Spike TV. Shit, what's that fucking Repo game? I'd rather watch fucking Repo games. I hate Repo games. I'd rather watch A Million Ways to Die and Mansers
I'd rather watch Mansers.
than Esquire channel.
I actually don't hate 1,000 Ways to Die. Some of those episodes are pretty.
Some of those are neat. Mansers is fucking. Mansers is fucking atrocious.
All I'm saying is that based on how G4 TV has become and how it's dead, I don't see how Esquire Channel could be any worse, because at one point G4 was alright television, but then they just went down the crapper.
Yeah.
So,
but the focus of Esquire won't be games.
That's fine. I
Okay.
mean, when you're showing cops marathons over and over again, that's not focusing on games either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one positive is this will have more unique programming built for the channel instead of just buying the rights to other stuff.
Yep.
So that is one positive. I will read about what gaming stuff they offer for it and what they put into it, and that's probably about all I'll do. All right, next, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of both Street Fighter and Mega Man.
Mega Man Legends 3?
No.
Mega Man 11?
No.
A new Mega Man game?
No. Kind of. Well, kind of.
More of a kind of at this point.
That's more of a kind of.
A Mega Man game where there's going to be other characters from other Capcom series in it as well?
No.
Oh.
No, not really.
Mega Man X, whatever the newest one is.
Let me just get to it.
Dick.
No, he's not a dick. He's just
He
inquisitive.
just hit me with his microphone.
Good.
Stay on your side. Stop kicking me.
Now apologize, Tim.
Apologize.
Yeah, apologize for me hitting you.
I apologize to all microphones for what's about to happen.
Oh God,
No.
don't break my microphone.
It's the bad one. It's okay.
Anyway, a Mega Man superfan has taken on the project of creating a game to commemorate Mega Man's 25th anniversary, and in doing so, caught the attention of Capcom, and now has
Instead of crushing it.
they are endorsing it. So on December 7th,
Just to crush it later.
yeah, on December 17th, Yeah, they're just like, well, we don't got a Mega Man game in the works, and
We hate our fans.
so yeah, just this is the cheapest way we can get a Mega Man game out there to shut them up for a little while. December 17th, we'll see the release of Street Fighter Cross Mega Man, which is an 8-bit classic Mega Man game, but instead of 8 evil robots constructed by the diabolical Dr. Wily, he will be battling 8 Street Fighters.
Hell yeah.
With worlds specifically built around their characteristics. Characters like Blanca, Ryu, Chun-Li, Rose, Dhalsim, and Rolento.
I also saw Urian from Third Strike.
Ah, okay. The game will Mega Man will have access to 8 new weapons, which are based on the Mega Man characters, which are viewable in a trailer that has hit online thanks to Capcom. One of them, which actually is very interesting, I believe, is created by Rose, which is holographic panels which Mega Man can use to reflect enemy projectiles.
That is pretty much one of Urian's abilities.
Is that Irian or Rose?
Urian.
Okay.
Because it's a screen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so in other words, beat Urian first and then go own Ryu.
That's the idea, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they at least revealed your initial path of destruction. Because there's always a method to the madness of who's weak to what. So, hey.
I was also amused at the fact that I think Blanca's ability is going to involve watermelons and kicking them.
Yes. But, like I said, the game is classic 8-bit. It will be free on December 17th on PC. So if you are a fan that has been itching for a Mega Man fix, you're only... You're only 7 days away.
That's a whole week.
That is a whole week.
What do you guys think?
That's a week.
I'll be playing it.
I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, I just think it's funny that a fan had to do this.
It is funny that a fan has to, but I'll be playing it.
I want to play it.
And I'll come in with a full report.
I definitely will be playing it December 17th, and I think it's... I honestly almost think it's better that it's made by a fan because there's going to be a lot of love in the game for the character.
Yep.
Yeah, like
So.
each level is based on that Street Fighter character.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. All right, so Friday we watched the VGAs.
It wasn't a total train wreck.
It wasn't a total train wreck.
Saved that show pretty nicely.
Yeah, a lot of the skits that Sam Jackson had involving him in the various big games like Halo 4, Call of Duty Black Ops, Dishonored, Minecraft.
Dishonored.
Dishonored. My favorite one was Walking Dead. I thought that one was pretty great.
Yep.
So there were a lot of really fun ones. And I felt that a lot of the winners were actually pretty solid. Here, I can go through the whole list real quick because not all of these were on TV. Most of them weren't. It was just a few big ones. So we'll start at the bottom. Most anticipated game went to Grand Theft Auto 5. Best DLC went to Dawn Guard for Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
What?
I don't agree with that one.
What?
Best social game was You Don't Know Jack.
Yeah.
Best downloadable game was The Walking...
Coming out for iOS.
Yes, it is. Best downloadable game was The Walking Dead. Best performance by a human female was Alyssa Hutchison, who played Clementine in The Walking Dead. Best performance by a human male was Damian Clark, who played Handsome Jack.
Hell yeah.
Best original score went to Journey.
I don't know what that is. Neither did anyone else in that audience.
Yeah, it really seemed like the only ones that knew about it were the ones that elected it and voted and everything. Best song in a game went to Cities by Beck for Sound Shapes, which was I believe a downloadable game for the Vita. Best graphics went to Halo 4.
Shock.
Best independent game. I mean, I honestly, I agree with that.
It
If Far Cry made it out in time to be a part of this voting, though, I think Far Cry would have beat it.
I think so too.
Far Cry would have beat it hands down. But it did.
Yeah.
So given what the selections were besides Far Cry, it all goes to Halo. Best independent game went to Journey. Best adapted video game went to The Walking Dead. Best fighting game went to Persona 4 Arena, which that is probably the biggest surprise on this entire list.
I'll
to me.
say.
Best driving game was Need for Speed Most Wanted. Best team sports game was the NBA 2K13. Best individual sports game was SSX. I completely disagree. Best multiplayer game went to Borderlands 2.
Of course.
Best RPG went to Mass Effect 3.
Woo!
Best action adventure game went to Dishonored. Best shooter was Borderlands 2. Best handheld mobile game was Sound Shapes. Best PC game was XCOM. Best Wii/Wii U game was New Super Mario Bros. U. I mean, I guess if you want to pick a first-party game,
Wasn't much else.
there wasn't much else. I mean, but I feel when the U.S. gets two stellar RPGs in Xenoblade Chronicles and Last Story,
They don't know what those are. I'm
Yeah,
just curious. I'm more curious what the other nominees for that category would have been.
yeah, I unfortunately I couldn't pull that up. Best PS3 game went to Journey. Best 360 game went to Halo 4. Studio of the Year was Telltale Games, and Game of the Year was The Walking Dead.
Which was a shock.
That was a shock, but you know what? I don't have a problem with it, given how stellar of a job Telltale did with that game. So I give them all the props in the world. Anybody else? Anything else anybody wants to share about that the VGAs before we move on?
No, I thought it was not terrible of a show.
All right.
I like the fact that each character for best character nomination had a little segment just to
Master Chief one was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson's gonna be there. I'll get dressed.
Yeah.
I'll get my tux.
I think the Halo one was my favorite one because they provided a really
Yes, I said that too when we were sitting in the room.
so that was pretty good. All right, let's close the show then with our Halo 4 review.
It's pretty great.
Everybody.
I will try to go through this as quickly as possible, and you guys can add in any comments you want to.
I think you guys know more about this game than I do.
Okay.
I will say, as far as the story goes, I'm not going to go into details of the story or break down anything, but I will say as far as the campaign mode goes, it honestly does feel like just a story that's just setting up for things to come. Not a lot of details or not a lot of things that happen in the story were very gripping. Nothing really sucked me in to want to complete the campaign. I was more interested in playing it for the co-op than I was to see the next bit of story. That being said, I do feel that the cutscenes are well done. I feel the graphics are incredible. I do think the voice act. I don't know if I already said voice acting or not. Voice acting is very solid. The progression of everything works. The environments work. There is certainly a lot that is enjoyable about the single-player campaign, but I just felt the story just wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't anything to be like, oh my god, you have to see what happens here. I just felt it was like, all right, so this is the setup for 4 and 5.
It's not even so much like that because I did play through the whole game and didn't really set up anything for 5 and 6.
Other than to say that this isn't the last one.
Yeah, that was about it. Which, of course, is pretty much what the original Halo did, to set up 2 and 3.
Yeah. I mean,
So.
I did have genuine interest to find out, the ultimate fate of Cortana. I mean...
For Halo fans, that was kind of like a big thing, I would say, definitely. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, but, that as far as that goes, I consider Spartan Ops a branch out of story.
I think it might be going along the same line because it's all happening at once. It seems like it is.
The story actually takes place after the events of Halo 4. It is not a same time event.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is not a same time event.
Then that's just weird.
I mean, I guess in a sense it is.
I do like how Spartan Ops has decided to recycle maps.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't really have a problem with it, just that,
I like the idea of free episodic content. I like that it's all branching out and giving the story a bigger feel, like it's showing you what is going on besides just what Master Chief is doing, and it's interesting enough to keep playing. I like the fact that it does also help progress the multiplayer of the game. I think that's well done, and I mean just the fact that they're supporting it with free DLC, I think is pretty solid. As far as the multiplayer goes, I will honestly say that it is probably one of the best first-person shooter multiplayer experiences to hit the Xbox this year.
Yep, that's correct.
If you want to compare it to the other recent releases, as far as competitive first-person shooter multiplayer goes, I believe it is the superior game to Black Ops 2. And Far Cry isn't really built to be a competitive multiplayer first-person shooter.
Even though it has it, but know what? You're more for the single player.
Yeah, it's more of a secondary feature. The focus of the developers for Far Cry 3 was the story. But I feel even though Halo 4 adds a lot of things that Call of Duty has been doing, the loadout, the actual progression, so on and so forth, I think those changes are something Halo multiplayer needed. I think the design of the new maps is very strong. Even some of the ones that are kind of redesigned older maps work very well. I haven't gotten a chance to experience some of the new modes, mainly the Flood mode. I didn't get a chance to play that yet, though I do want to. But I like the ability to be able to choose your starting weapon. You're not just restricted to the assault rifle or the battle rifle. I feel the new Promethean weapons, while they are essentially just a sniper rifle, a shotgun, and a machine gun, they feel different enough from existing Halo weapons. And just, I don't know, I can't fully explain it, but it just felt more fun than when I played Halo 3 multiplayer. To me, it just gave me more enjoyment. And maybe it's the changes. I mean, I like the loadout. I like the new add-ons you can equip to your Spartan of having like a sentry or a jetpack or an invisibility or a big shield. Some of them are a bit useless, but most of them are pretty good. The customizable options to the look of your character, from the color to the armor to the logos, I feel is a lot better and more expanded than in previous installments. The only thing that I feel took a step back was maybe Forge mode. I do know a lot of people that are buddies of mine that spent the majority of their experience in Halo 3 in Forge mode, says it does not have the same level of customization that 3 did, that it kind of took a step back, kind of went back to basics instead of expanding upon what was already there.
Well, one thing in this game, yeah, sure they may have taken a step back in Forge mode, but there's so much other stuff in multiplayer to do that, it's kind of a little difficult, I think, to come up with something new in Forge mode. So.
Yeah.
And plus they swap out, game types just about every week too.
Exactly. So. They're swapping out game types, they're making adjustments, they're constantly doing things. They're constantly monitoring and working on this game. And over the course of the next year, it will have a ton of new maps coming out, which you can purchase via the Season Pass for, I believe, 2,000 Microsoft points. Overall, the game feels like it makes a good amount of improvements over the formula that Bungie left behind with Halo 3. But overall, I feel the game felt more like Microsoft going to 343 Studios and saying, okay, we are giving you the Halo franchise, but before you are allowed to really take it and run with it and put in all your own ideas, we want to make sure you know how to make a Halo game.
Well, one of the things that helped was a lot of the developers from Bungie ended up going to 343 Studios. So that helped a little bit.
Yeah, that does help. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, there are, because it's not Bungie, because it's a new studio, I have a feeling 343 also wants to make adjustments to Halo to make this new trilogy their own and not just be Bungie's franchise with a new studio. But I feel Microsoft was more inclined to have them prove themselves that they can just make a Halo game before the doors are open and they're allowed to use their full playbook. They're allowed to do the things they want to do. I have a feeling Halo 5, when that hits the next-gen Xbox, is going to have a lot of new things, a lot of expansive ideas that 343 really wants to execute in the Halo universe. I think that's going to be the game that really goes, well, holy shit, they don't need Bungie. I mean, this was like, okay, somebody else can make a Halo game, and it's a good Halo game. It's gorgeous. It runs well. The multiplayer is fun. But at the end of the day, it's not a jaw-dropping, end-all, be-all, like, greatest game the Xbox has ever seen.
This year.
Just for 2012, it's up there as one of the best games to be released. Which is still no small feat, given everything else that has come out this year. But anyone that has just looked at Halo 4 is like, oh, it's another Halo game, kind of like how most people look at the Call of Duty games nowadays. I feel, yeah, I have seen that. I feel that
It is hilarious.
they have put together a strong title. So with what you did play, Brett, what are the opinions you take away from Halo 4?
I think it's a pretty solid game. I definitely like when I was actually playing Call of Duty. I was like, oh, it's not a Call of Duty game, as you said. Didn't feel like that with Halo. I think the multiplayer is quite fun. And a lot of the stuff feels different, like with the big team battle, there's new vehicles and stuff that you get to use. So that's always a plus. And there's newer weapons with those new creatures, whatever the hell they're called. Prometheans. So it's pretty solid. I mean, to me, I wasn't a big fan of the campaign, so that's a little downside for me. But maybe bigger Halo fans might like it more.
Yeah.
But I think the multiplayer was solid. And
Yeah.
definitely one of the better shooters that I've played this year.
I think we were having more fun just playing the story mode in co-op than we were experiencing the story. Because I do feel the game does a good job of building the single-player campaign to have up to 3 buddies with you. Like, the moments where everybody can grab a vehicle and progress through the story, like somebody's in a tank, 2 people are in a ghost, and someone's in a warthog, stuff like that. I think was specifically built so that, you have buddies in there with you and you're going at it. So experiencing those elements was fun, but just the story mode itself was weak. Overall, though, I feel if you own an Xbox, if you like competitive shooters, I don't think you're going to get much better than Halo 4 this year.
I think one of the other things I liked about multiplayer was they didn't have the good weapons laying out around out the maps, because in old Halo games, it usually end up being get to the good weapons first and then you win. This game, you have to get X number of kills, and then it's like, all right, here's something better you can get to help with your character. And
Yeah.
It builds over time.
And it's not just tied into get these many kills before you die.
Yep.
It's
the
just
other good
get
part.
kills. So that's always good. Overall lasting impressions, I feel Halo 3 is one of the strongest titles to hit the Xbox this year. Definitely surprising since I was a bit tapped out on the Halo franchise itself, but this has rejuvenated my interest in it, and I look forward to seeing 343 Studios' next effort on the next-gen Xbox console, because they've already started working on it even before Halo 4 launched. So I don't think that means that Halo 5 is just around the corner.
That's going to be a while.
Halo
Next
5
week.
is still at least 2 years away, I think, but it'll be it'll be something to look forward to. I look forward to the next installment, and I look forward to continuing my progression in the multiplayer of that game. It's one of the more satisfying multiplayer experiences of the year. So there you go. That's probably our last review for the year. Next week we are going to I think just discuss our own personal years in gaming. How we felt 2012 was, and our own personal opinions of what we bought, what we played, what we enjoyed, what we didn't. I'm also going to try to go through our year's archive of posted news on the site and pull what I may consider some of the biggest news stories of the year overall. And just share what our opinions have been since that news first hit, and how impactful it truly was. So look forward to that next week, as that is our last show for 2012. And sorry for the technical difficulties, but hopefully you enjoyed our discussions here tonight on the Digital Reload. Until next time, I did not cue up the music. I'm not going to look for it now, so no music to exit us out. Just a hearty good night, and we will see you next week.
Send us out, Brett.
Take 'em away, toys.